Ladies and gentlemen, NorthWood High School is pleased and proud to welcome you to the Panther League and the Culture Sport of Indiana High School Basketball. Tonight, the Panthers welcome the Elkhart Memorial Crimson Chargers to the pitch for the final meeting of the Panthers and the Crimson Chargers. Before we begin the starting lineup for tonight's game, please join me in welcoming the 7th and 8th grade NorthWood Middle School band members, along with the high school Red Regiment, and everyone rise as one nation as we honor America and those who support our freedom at home and abroad with the playing of our national anthem.
This edition of the TV46 High School Basketball Game of the Week is being brought to you in part by Intera Credit Union. We get it because we live here too. We've just had a rousing rendition of our national anthem by the Red Regiment Band, assisted by the NorthWood Middle School Band. And now we're getting ready for the starting lineups as we continue our R. Yoder Construction pregame. Here to give them to you is Bob Nagel.
And for the Memorial Crimson Chargers, Darjon Lewis will start at a guard. He wears number 3. He's a 6-foot junior. Also at a guard, Braxton Miller. Their leading scorer, 6'1" senior. He wears number 10. Another guard is Titus Rogers. You might know him better as Skinny Rogers. He leads the team in assists. He wears number 22. He's a 5'9" sophomore. A 6-foot sophomore is Malachi Emmons. He'll play a forward position, number 34. And number 42 is Brandon Brooks, the big man inside, 6'5" senior for Memorial. Now the Northwood Panthers starting lineup brought to you by the Topping Dental Group. And for Northwood, there'll be Brock Flickinger starting at a guard, a 5'8" senior. He wears number 4, good leader on this team. Ben Vincent is a 5'8" junior. He'll play at a guard. He's wearing number 5. And number 10 is Trent Edwards. Trent Edwards is an outstanding senior, 6'3" leading scorer on this team. Also, in the starting lineup for Northwood, Jamar Jackson wears number 12. He's a 6-foot sophomore. And the big man inside for Northwood is Jason Borkholder, 6'3" senior, wears number 21. And again, the starting lineups for Northwood brought to you by the Topping Dental Group.
And that'll wrap up our Yoder Construction pregame as we get you ready for tip-off the series history. Memorial has led it 35-21. The first meeting in 1973. The last meeting is tonight because Memorial will consolidate with Elkhart Central. And there you see our officiating crew. Brian Allen is the man you're looking at right there. He'll be assisted tonight by Ron Day and our friend John Hirschberger from Bremen. The Chargers in their crimson uniforms with the gold trim and the black numbers. Northwood in the home whites with the red numbers and the black letters. We're just about ready for Northern Lakes Conference basketball action tonight on TV 46. Brandon Brooks of Memorial and Jason Borkholder of Northwood get ready to jump it up.
And every shade of red possible is in the house tonight. Right next door to me, my neighbor, my partner, Chuck Freeby, with tonight's play-by-play call.
The Chargers win the tip. They are 10-8, 4-2 in the NLC. Their best wins came over South Bend, Washington, and LaVille. Skinny Rogers tried to go inside, had to kick it back out to Malachi Emmons, who drives, and the bank not open on this Friday night. Jason Borkholder with the rebound for the Panthers, who come in with a 13-4 record. They've won 4 in a row. They beat West Noble Tuesday night by a count of 55-44. Their best win was over Westview back in December. Trent Edwards stop and go, and fade and fire won't go. And the rebound to Braxton Miller of Elkhart Memorial. So both teams miss on their opening shots. Miller, the three-point ace, thought about it for a moment, gives it to Darjon Lewis. Jamar Jackson draws the defensive assignment, and Darjon gets the first bucket of the game. Third-year varsity player averaging 12 a game, and then Brock Flickinger called for traveling. And the first turnover of the game goes against Northwood. So here's the Chargers with Rogers for 3. Off the mark, no good. And the rebound to Jackson. Flickinger will bring it across. Guarded by Rogers. Flickinger has it stolen away by Rogers, or at least knocked out of bounds. It'll be Northwood ball.
Okay, Memorial is a long team. They're quick and they're long, and they tend to get in those passing lanes. You got to be careful.
Flickinger will trigger the inbound. We got a little bit of a wet spot out there on the floor. So they'll take care of that. This is a Memorial team that offers a contrast tonight to Northwood. Memorial averaging about 63 points a game. Northwood only about 56. So as Bob mentioned, if it's in the 50s or above, that might favor the Chargers. Down low, they try to feed Borkholder, but the length of Memorial knocks it away. Emmons goes in for 2 and draws the foul. Malachi Emmons spinning and dealing for the layup. The 6-foot sophomore who had a career-high 21 against Warsaw last Friday gets that one. You see on the SBO replay, it's Borkholder on the foul. And Emmons, a 54% free throw shooter, will go to the line.
And you see how Memorial can turn defense into offense. They just did it there with that transition, getting up and down the floor, makes them very effective.
Here comes Edwards the other way in a hurry. Flickinger in the lane, can't get it to go, but Borkholder gets the offensive rebound. Edwards travels. By the way, our opening tip tonight was sponsored by our friends at Cook's Pizza, and our first quarter is brought to you by Yoder Stutzman Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
3 turnovers already for Northwood.
Aaron Wolf talking things over with Ron Day down at the other end. 4-0 Charger lead. We've played almost 2 minutes. It's Brandon Brooks, the senior, tries to go to work against Borkholder, who knocked it away. Northwood with numbers, but again, the length that Bob mentioned, knocking the ball away as Rogers was able to deflect it from Jackson.
Brooks fortunate that he turned the ball over, Chuck. I think it would have been a charging call at the other end.
Northwood again looks to trigger the inbound. Flickinger finally finds Vincent outside. Flickinger working against Rogers. Now Jackson one-on-one with Miller. They liked that matchup, and Jackson took it in strong but couldn't hit. Brooks tied up on the rebound. Alternating possession gives the ball to Northwood.
When Panther fans are hungry, they go to Cook's Pizza. Whether you're hungry for pizza, chicken, chips, breadsticks, breaded mushrooms, or ice cream, Cook's Pizza can feed your family or your whole team. You can also find the same great food at Jimtown Pizza in Jimtown. I want to thank Cook's Pizza for feeding our crew tonight. Did a great job.
Turnover for each side there. Northwood's fourth. And Edwards goes in strong for the bucket and the bump. There is something that Trent Edwards has added to his game this year, the ability to drive and get to the basket, and you'll get a real good look on the SBO replay.
Well, as Phil Leckleichner said before the game, you can remember when he was a skinny rail of a kid, and now he can go inside, take the contact, and still finish and get to the line for a three-point opportunity.
And Edwards is a 72% free throw shooter on the year. Short on that one, and Miller boxed out to get the rebound for Rogers. 4-2 game. Northwood has gone to its bench, brought in Ian Rash, a freshman. Cooper Weens in the game as well. Emmons goes cross court. Miller was open briefly. Yarjan Lewis, capable three-point shooter. Instead, Rogers drives the baseline. Couldn't get the driving layup, and Ian Rash, the freshman, with the rebound. Here's Weens to Vincent for three. The iron unkind, the ball out of bounds to Memorial.
Good looking shot there by Vincent.
Both teams struggling with their shooting in the early going.
Northwood just 1 out of 5. Elkhart Memorial is 2 out of 5 with a missed free throw.
Josh Stratford also in the game now for Northwood. He wears 31. Lewis with a beautiful move finds Miller for three, and that's almost automatic if he's that wide open. His 51st three-pointer of the year. He hits 43% from outside the arc, and it's a 7-2 Charger lead. But that was all set up by the play of Lewis at the other end. Just like Edwards set up that one for Stratford, but he was thwarted. Emmons for three. That's short, and the rebound to Edwards. Northwood has numbers, but do they want to try to run with Memorial? Vincent will fling it up there and hit. Ben Vincent, the 5'9" junior, with his first bucket of the game.
Chuck, the first 10 shots of the game were two-pointers, and since then we've had 4 attempts from three-point range.
Rogers down on the post to Brooks. He's been quiet in the early going. Lewis, though, from the corner, no good. Evans used his length to tip it out to Miller, and he's a little bit too long there. It caroms around to Weens. Vincent to Borkholder, 4-2. Make it Stratford instead. Josh Stratford with the layup bucket, and 7-6. Rogers now tries to go baseline. He found Emmons underneath. That was thwarted by Edwards. And then the rebound knocked out of bounds to Memorial. And substitutions for both teams.
The pace has been pretty good, which we thought would help Memorial in this ball game.
Look at the pretty feed here from Vincent to Stratford on the alley-oop for two. NorthWood, after a sluggish start, has crawled back within one. The inbound knocked away. Lewis goes over to Rogers. Man-to-man defense here from the Panthers. Chargers looking to see if they can get a mismatch. Miller for three, way short. And the rebound to Vincent, ahead to Flickinger. He's blocked, and the foul called on D'Arjon Lewis. Well, I think the facial reactions of D'Arjon tell you his thoughts on the call. You make your own on the SBO replay. It looked pretty clean to me, Bob.
It did look pretty clean. He evidently got a little bit of the head and neck after following through with the block.
Here's Brock Flickinger, 72% foul shooter, misses the first. Flickinger has had the grand champion steer at the 4-H fair the last 2 years. A 4.0 GPA. He was the top scholar athlete at the Bud Brown tournament earlier this year. Hits that one, and we're tied at 7. D'Arjon Lewis, again, Miller for three. That's the second time the Chargers have run that play in the first quarter, and the second time it's worked.
He's 2 out of 4 now from three-point range for his 6 points.
Rogers right up in the grill of Flickinger and poked it away from behind.
Yoder Stutzman Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning has been serving Napanee and the surrounding area since 1969. They're committed to what they do, and they're here to serve you for your plumbing, heating, and cooling needs. Yoder Stutzman Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning, building lasting solutions.
After the Jamar Jackson miss and the Borkholder rebound, the ball popped out of bounds, and NorthWood will retain possession. Still 2:06 to go in what has been a very active first quarter. Weems with a nice grab to keep that from going into the backcourt. Now Jackson. Flickinger had it poked away by Rogers again. This time found a seam down the lane but couldn't hit. And the rebound comes down to Demarion Anderson, the freshman who's fouled. If that's on Borkholder, that'd be his second. Instead, they call it on Brock Flickinger, and that's his first, and you get another look from SBO.
It would have been a devastating second foul. Borkholder.
Aaron Wolf continues the heavy rotation, these substitutions of 3 at a time, almost like it's a hockey shift.
Climbing over the boards here.
10-7 in favor of Memorial. They looked really good. Probably played their best game of the year against Warsaw last week. Emmons threw that ball right at the foot of Anderson. There wasn't anything he could do with it.
3 turnovers now for Memorial. 4 for NorthWood.
Edwards drives baseline. Had to get rid of it. And then Rogers takes it right away from Ben Vincent. Skinny Rogers travels. Oh, they say he was pushed from behind. Ooh. Call that foul on Ben Vincent. That's his first. And you'll get another look at it on the SBO replay. They say with that left hand, Vincent was guiding Rogers a little too much.
Hey, Chuck, one of the things about NorthWood and their turnovers now, they've got 5 of them here in the first quarter.
As Demarion Anderson gets his first basket of the game. The 6'3" freshman averaging 9 points a game coming off the bench. Kyle Sears told me before the game he's extremely pleased with the progress that Anderson has made this year.
Point I was going to make about the defense for Memorial, we've mentioned that they're long and they can fill up the gaps pretty quick. The other problem in this case for NorthWood is I'm not sure they have the kind of players to practice against during the week that can simulate what Memorial brings you defensively.
So the Panthers trailing by 5, and now they'll face some token full court pressure here from Memorial, but it's enough to harass Flickinger a little bit as he brought it across the stripe. Edwards gets the signal from the Panther bench. Miller guards him as we go into the final seconds. You see the clock bottom right corner of the Intera Credit Union scoreboard. Edwards had it poked away. Rogers thought he might be able to get another theft, and they didn't get it, and Edwards lays it in at the buzzer. Wow. So Trent Edwards, it wasn't artistic, but it wound up being 2 points, and that was enough. Malachi Emmons was doing damage for Elkhart Memorial. Josh Stratford had a pretty play for NorthWood, but it's the Chargers leading by 3 after 1 on 46. This edition of the TV 46 High School Basketball Game of the Week being brought to you in part by Indiana University South Bend. IU South Bend fulfilling the promise. We always promise you sideline reports when we have our games of the week. They're sponsored by Bill Heating. They're brought to you by Bo Hunt. Your thoughts on quarter number 1, Bo?
Well, when I look at NorthWood, I thought NorthWood were really pushing the pace there in the first quarter. They were really trying to get up and down the floor, getting guys in, subbing guys in and out, doing a big rotation there. For Elkhart Memorial, Braxton Miller, he's going to be open on that three-pointer. If he can continue to knock him down, they're going to continue to build this lead. 2 big three-pointers by Braxton Miller there, guys.
All right, thank you very much. And our thanks to Laurie Sumpter at Phil Hahn and Associates. She's our Facebook and YouTube live stream sponsor tonight. Second quarter being brought to you by Yoder Stutzman Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning. Not the best of shooting numbers for either team in that first quarter, I'm sure, Bob.
I think Memorial, though, is showing some pretty good patience on another turnover there. That brings them to 5 and ties them with NorthWood in that category. But I like the patience they're showing on offense when they get in the half court. Now, that's what we talked about. If they can get transition baskets, if they can get back to the glass after a missed shot, they're very effective. But in the half court, they really have to be patient.
It's Edwards outside. Now down low. Weems had it taken away by Emmons. Rebound. Borkholder got it up and in. Jason Borkholder, the 6'3 senior who is back in the lineup after suffering a back injury against Wawasee. Also hit his head pretty good that night. Now here's D'Arjon Lewis for 3. That rims out. And the rebound to Borkholder. He traveled. The turnovers continue to mount for the Panthers.
9 rebounds, though, for the Panthers to just 4 for Elkhart Memorial. But the turnovers now favor NorthWood again by 1.
Brandon Brooks back in the game. One of the keys for NorthWood, keeping the Chargers from making the layups. They've done a pretty good job of that tonight. They certainly haven't allowed a lot of transition opportunities, but there's another offensive rebound for Memorial. And now Brooks does get to the lane, missed the shot, and the rebound to Ian Rash. On the break, Borkholder made a good catch and put it in for 2. Well, he's an all-state football player, and Borkholder puts NorthWood in front for the first time tonight.
It's almost like head coach Aaron Wolf pushed another button. Let's get Borkholder into it.
A lot of contact against Lewis, no call made. Flickinger comes the other way. And Rash travels.
Would that be a turnover?
yet again.
Folks, East Lake 24 in Epiney is a full-service fitness club with 24-hour access. They never close. Just $25 to enroll and $29 a month with unlimited access to all 18 East Lake and FitStop locations. Check it out for yourself between Ace Hardware and Martin Supermarket. East Lake 24 in Epiney.
Good drive, kicked outside. Miller drives it this time and lays it in with the left. Braxton Miller showing why he is the leading scorer on this Charger team. He has 8 tonight. And Memorial's back on top.
Not fair for a three-point shooter to get inside and get a shorty.
Meanwhile, Edwards, that's what he does best, that little fade and fire, but he hasn't been able to click on one of those tonight. Lewis, the rebound, he's so good in transition, but Edwards was waiting at the other end with the block, and then the outlet pass ahead. Jamar Jackson lays it in. Back and forth we go on the seesaw. Good perimeter defense here by NorthWood, stretching that man-to-man.
Trying to invite that outside shot from Memorial when it can, but that's not the guy you want to shoot it.
Exactly. You can let anybody else shoot from the outside. You cannot let Braxton Miller do it. He's hit 3 tonight. He's got 11.
And he's 4 out of 7 from the field, so he's getting it done.
Meanwhile, Flickinger wanted to make the backdoor pass, couldn't. Banging in against Emmons, and he loses that one. Emmons tried to leave it for Miller fancily. Here comes Jackson the other way. No good. Flickinger the rebound. Stratford was not looking for it. Miller at the other end for 3 again. That is 4 threes in the first half for Braxton Miller, and it's a 5-point Charger lead. Both teams very sloppy with the ball handling here in the first half. Vincent left alone on the baseline, rattles it home. The mid-range jumper, Bob, I don't know how many times we talk about that shot during a week and on a Friday night. Those 5 to 10 footers are there for anybody who wants them.
Everybody wants to shoot the 3. Everybody wants to go off the glass, but that 10, 12 footer is open.
And there's another Charger turnover.
That's number 8 of the night. Imagineering Finishing Technologies is celebrating 60 years as the industry knowledge source for metal finishing solutions. 60 years of serving the automotive, medical, aerospace, and military and defense industries. Go to iftworldwide.com for more information. Like the teams in tonight's game, they're working toward a great finish.
Flickinger on the outside. Now Borkholder down on the post. Jason looking. Oh, he had Jackson on a cut. Didn't see him. Instead threw it into the hands of John Lewis. And then said, get that shot out of here.
Lewis had a couple of those turned away.
Here's another look from SBO, and it's not any prettier for D'Arjon.
Couple of blocks for NorthWood, not giving up on the fast break.
Still a 3-point Charger lead with 2:58 to go first half. Coming up at halftime, the East Lake 24 Napanee halftime report. You'll meet our TCU student athletes of the week, and we'll have halftime stats and the highlights. Miller has had the hot hand. 14 of the Chargers' 20 points here in the first half. Lewis with a nice crossover and fade, fire, and score.
Created a nice opportunity for himself right there.
And then a foul called on Malachi Emmons as he was draped around the NorthWood ball handler, but that's only the 3rd foul, each team with 3 fouls.
Our thanks to the team from St. Andrews Products for making our crew look good. They can do the same for your school or corporation. Call them at 800-628-9922, or you can email them at sales@standrewscorp.com. Your expectations become our standards, and our answer is always yes. Now, what's the question?
Ben Vincent, Bob called on him to produce in the pregame, and he drains a 3 there to pull the Panthers within 2.
That ends a pretty nice run from Memorial, 10 unanswered points.
Rogers, left hand exclusively there.
But they look for Miller, don't they?
Why wouldn't you? Brooks faces up down on the post, and Borkholder bodied him out of bounds. Second foul on Jason. Memorial goes to its bench. Demarion Anderson, the freshman, checking back in. And Josh Stratford will come back in for Northwood. Borkholder will likely sit until halftime.
1:49 to go. That's not too bad of an assignment.
Memorial, as we mentioned, 10-8. When they beat Warsaw last week, Kyle Sears says, I don't think I ran one set play the whole night. We were just in a really good flow running the motion offense. Tonight, probably a little bit different story against this Panther defense as Lewis can't hit, and then an over-the-back foul on Brandon Brooks, and that's his second. Brooks probably a little bit frustrated. He hasn't been able to get on the scoreboard here in the first half.
Folks, get back in the game with South Bend Orthopedics. Team physicians for the University of Notre Dame since 1947.
Good to see Dr. Brian Radigan at our game last week, representing SBO. Panthers can tie or take the lead with a 3 here. But Edwards eschews the 3 to drive and score. Edwards now with 6. He has really worked on those head and shoulder fakes in the offseason. Under a minute, tied at 22.
But they're letting Skinny have a chance to shoot if he wants to, but he's been more disciplined than to do that.
And he travels here.
Turnover number 9 of the first half. 8 turnovers for Northwood.
Let's see if the Panthers try to hold for one shot here. Aaron Wolf calls out a play from the sideline. I don't think they'll hold for one. They may not need to as Rogers fouls Flickinger right there. Skinny with his first. Memorial coming off a loss to Marion last Saturday where they lost by 30 in that game. Brandon Brooks did not play that day, but the Knights are playing maybe as well as anybody in the area. Northridge, another really hot team right now, and they're at Concord tonight, having already clinched the Northern Lakes Conference Championship. A win tonight gives Scott Radiker his 250th of his career.
I like the odds of that happening.
Final 15 seconds of the first half. Keep an eye on that clock in the bottom right corner of your screen on the Intera Credit Union scoreboard. That's Trent Edwards with the ball. They go to Weens inside, and he got it to drop. First basket of the night for the sophomore. And the first half comes to an end with Northwood leading Elkhart Memorial 24-22. We go downstairs to Bo Hunt for a Bills Heating sideline report. He's standing by with Kyle Sears.
Coach, you go into the halftime down by 2. He led for most of the whole first half. Braxton Miller, unbelievable job on the outside, but inability to finish inside for your guys.
Yeah, we're going to have to hit some shots inside. It'll hopefully open up some lanes, some shooting opportunities for Braxton outside as well. We just got to keep attacking, and we'll shore some of that up. And, got to get a couple of those 50-50 balls there towards the end too. But we'll get that fixed here in a second and then come out in the second half ready to go.
Thanks, Kyle. Thank you. Back to you guys.
All right, thanks a lot, folks. Stick around. The East Lake 24 Napanee halftime report is coming your way next. A first half chock full of highlights. Braxton Miller had 14 points for the Chargers, but it's not enough to give them the lead. As Jason Borkholder and the defense came through, it's Northwood by 2 at the break. This edition of the 46th Game of the Week brought to you in part by Southwood Orthopedics, the team physicians for the University of Notre Dame since 1947. Welcome, everybody, to the East Lake 24 Napanee halftime report. The Red Regiment entertaining the faithful here at the pit. A 24-22 lead for Northwood. Love the pace. Don't necessarily love the execution for February.
Execution's been a little bit, we've had 6 players in the scoring column for Northwood, just 4 for Memorial here at halftime.
We'll look at the halftime highlights here. One of the things that'll surprise me here in watching these highlights, the transition baskets for Northwood. Not surprised Braxton Miller was shooting from 3, but look at Josh Stratford here in transition, and then Miller would hit another 3. He had 4 in the first half. But again, watch the Panthers. The long pass up the floor to Borkholder, and then they're able to start some transition with their defense as well. Trent Edwards gets the block, Ben Vincent the outlet pass, Jamar Jackson at the other end. Pretty nice, crisp execution there by Northwood. The defense by Borkholder here, thwarting the Chargers from trying to get inside. So Darjon Lewis took advantage of the mid-range jumper there. But Cooper Weens got one right before the first half buzzer. 2-point lead for Northwood at the break, and the shooting numbers really favor the Panthers.
They do. And one of the things, too, Chuck, is the point you made about the transition is Memorial tends to stay right on you after a transition, after a basket or inbounds, trying to get a steal, trying to create offense, and by pass the ball long. That's pretty good scouting on the part of Northwood tonight. And when you look at those numbers, as you said, 23 shots taken by Northwood. They made 11 of them, 25 for Memorial. Field goal percentage favoring Northwood, obviously 48%. Three-pointers pretty effective for Memorial. But the rebound numbers, 18 rebounds for Northwood and just 12 for the Chargers. Turnovers, not a huge difference there. But one of the things that we see in those numbers and what we saw in the first half is a pretty effective approach. And again, with 6 players in the scoring column, that's really good for Northwood.
So it's a 2-point lead for the Panthers at the intermission. Thanks for watching the Eastlake 24 Napanee halftime report. Second half action from the Panther Pick comes your way next on 46. This edition of the 46 Game of the Week brought to you in part by the Indiana High School Athletic Association, partnering with TV 46 for 30 years. And Saturday will be a big day for the IHSAA with girls regionals all around the area. That includes the Northwood Panthers. Adam Yoder's team trying to avenge a regular season loss to Marion earlier in the year. I had a chance to talk with the Northwood coach before tonight's game about that clash with the Knights tomorrow morning at Jimtown.
Well, we're going to have to play a lot better defense. You know, if they get scoring 50s, 60s, 70s, it's bad news for us. I thought we didn't handle their pressure very well the first time either. They played more winning basketball. They made more free throws. They shot more free throws than we made more free throws than we made more threes than we did. We rebounded the ball pretty well the first game, which has to continue, but we just got to play a better basketball game. But I'm sure they're much more improved than they were 3 weeks ago, so it'll be a test.
Northwood and Marion at 10 a.m. tomorrow morning, followed by Knox and Lighthouse CPA at Jimtown. Of course, the Penn Kingsmen taking out Crown Point in 4A at LaPorte, followed by LaPorte and Munster. And don't forget about the Greenman Lions and the Oregon Davis Bobcats still alive. That's the girls' tournament story. We're back for second half boys action from Napanee after this. This edition of the 46 Game of the Week brought to you in part by Crown Trophy. They're nationally known and locally owned. Well, Panthers just got back on the floor, so Bo Hunt for your Bills Heating Sideline Report. I know you didn't talk to Aaron Wolf, but put yourself in his shoes. What kind of adjustments do you think Northwood will make here in the second half?
Well, I think one of the biggest things, I think they're going to continue to push the ball. We talked about that in their first half. They did a great job of really pushing up and down the floor. I think they're going to try to get somebody on Braxton Miller, get in his face just a little bit, throw him off, make him hurry that shot just a little bit. His misses in that first half was because he had to hurry a little bit. When he gets set, he's dead money, guys.
Bob, your thoughts going into the second half?
Well, I got to see some scoring out of Brandon Brooks, the 6'5" senior postman for Memorial. Didn't score in the first half, and again, they only had 4 players that did score. We didn't see any points from Skinny Rogers as well. There's some guys that need to step up for Memorial.
Meanwhile, Trent Edwards with a reverse layup to start the half for Northwood. He leads the Panthers in scoring with 8, and they have their biggest lead of the night at 26-22. Rogers on the left-hand dribble. Down low to Brooks on the post. Big fella trying to get something established and does. I think Kyle Sears might have been thinking like you were, Bob.
I think he heard my mention of Mr. Brooks. Just too much of a talent not to be in that scoring column.
And we're only a couple of weeks from the sectionals. Seniors have to start stepping up. Vincent doesn't hit there. It's knocked out of bounds by Borkholder, and it'll be Memorial ball.
Teachers Credit Union understands the importance of growing your future. Whether you're growing your family, your square footage, or your business, Teachers Credit Union is here for you with financial solutions that will help you succeed. Visit tcunet.com to start growing your future today. Federally insured by the NCUA, they are an equal housing opportunity lender.
Here's D'Arjon Lewis. The pull-up rims out, and the rebound to Jamar Jackson. Jackson cutting down the lane, bunny hops, but no shot. Foul was on the floor beforehand. Let's see who Ronde is going to call it on. It looks like it's on Lewis.
He was a little frustrated perhaps because while he has scored 4 points, he is just 2 out of 7 so far tonight from the floor.
Brooks rejects Borkholder. Now at the other end, Lewis can't get it to drop. And the rebound to Trent Edwards. Edwards goes right around Lewis, drops it for Borkholder, and again Brooks with the rejection, but Jackson cleans it up. Jamar Jackson, who has really heated up in the second half now with 4 points. We got a whistle for a shoot tie in here.
The first game we did with Northwood earlier in the season, Chuck Jackson had some moments in that game, and we thought, here's a guy that's going to evolve into a big-time scorer, and he's done a nice job here tonight.
Had a huge second quarter in that game against Plymouth. Third quarter tonight brought to you by Yoder Stutzman, plumbing, heating, and air conditioning. Here's Malachi Emmons banging inside, and he got the roll for 2. Emmons with 4 points tonight.
He got out to a good start in this ball game, and then we didn't hear from him the whole second quarter.
He's capable. He's right around 9 points a game. The shot by Vincent rims out. Brooks another rebound. Transition defense has been very good for Northwood tonight. Here's a launch by Lewis. He can't hit. And meanwhile, at the other end, Flickinger throws it off the hands of Jackson and out of bounds. Aaron Wolf looks like he's playing duck, duck, goose down there on the bench. He hits 3 heads. They come into the game.
Yeah, he wants a little bit more of a focus out of his team here in the second half. I think he must have said some things at halftime and didn't see a direct result, so he's going to give some other guys a shot.
He's been rotating players pretty heavily tonight. Meanwhile, a nice little shake and bake by Emmons, but he's way off on the shot. Here comes Edwards the other way.
One and done again for Northwood.
Edwards got his man up in the air, but a good job by Brooks to not lean into Edwards, and then the ball poked away and out of bounds. Good hustle by Rogers that time.
Folks, when Panther fans are hungry, they go to Cook's Pizza. Whether you're hungry for pizza, chicken strips, breadsticks, breaded mushrooms, or ice cream, Cook's Pizza can feed your whole family or your entire team. You can also find the same great food at Jimtown Pizza in Jimtown. A big thank you to Cook's Pizza for feeding the production crew prior to the game tonight. Did a great job. We always appreciate that.
Ian Rash blocked from behind by Brooks. I think that's the third shot he's altered in this quarter. Now the Chargers need to try to take advantage offensively, trailing by 2. And a foul called on Ben Vincent as he tried to go around D'Arjon Lewis. Second on Vincent.
Memorial seems to be focused a little bit more, Chuck, on getting the ball into that low post, seeing if they can get something going with the big guy inside.
Aaron Wolf hoping his depth can wear down Memorial. They only go about 6 deep. That would have been an opportunity for a foul call there, but nothing whistled. Been a lot of contact allowed tonight.
And just 4 free throws the entire first half.
Meanwhile, Emmons starting to heat up. He gets his second hoop of the quarter, and we're tied at 28. Oh, nice head and shoulder fake by Stratford, and this time Brooks was a little too slow to get the block, and he gets called for his third foul. Boy, this is a textbook fake on a shot blocker right here. You middle schooler and elementary kids, learn how to do that. You'll get a lot of easy trips to the hoop. Stratford short on the first free throw. He's a 67% foul shooter.
We've had 1 made free throw in the entire game.
That's incredible. First of all, the paucity of attempts.
And the lack of them.
That too. Stratford hits the second.
You heard us again.
Always trying to give Rob Kurtz new vocabulary words to teach over there. Stolen away by Vincent. Here come the Panthers up by 1, and Vincent lost the handle. Look out, Skinny's on the loose, working on Edwards. Got the layup.
Skinny takes the lid off.
Rogers with his first bucket of the game. And again, Northwood will have a 3-person sub at the next dead ball. They look like planes waiting to take off at O'Hare. Rash lost it out of bounds. It's Memorial ball with 3:22 to go in the stanza. You surprised how sloppy this has been for a February game?
I am, but, I keep going back. Well, I mean, there's a lot of things to talk about in a game like this, but I'm just not sure that Northwood can practice against this kind of pressure. And so I think when they get in this kind of a game, Memorial is quick, they're long, and they've created a lot of problems on passes that look to be routine.
Here's Emmons. He has been the player of the quarter. 6 points in the period, and the Chargers go up by 3. Flickinger harassed by Rogers. Rash trying to back his man down. Couldn't get it to go, though. Good rebound by Weens.
And the offensive board is a good one, isn't it, partner?
Absolutely. See if the Panthers can take advantage of the second chance points here. Good patience on the part of Aaron Wolf's team. Vincent looking open, but instead Jackson went down and drew the foul. We got to take a quick timeout with 2:28 to go in the third. Chargers by 3 on 46. This edition of the 46 Game of the Week brought to you by the electrical workers of Local 153. They're making our community brighter. Jamar Jackson at the foul line is 75% free throw shooter. Hits the first. He has 5 points tonight. Jackson, a high jumper, best offensive rebounder on the team.
Again, when you have 6 or 7 people in the scoring column, you don't need people to get 15 points apiece. Get your 7, 8, 9 points. That's what Jackson's giving them right now.
Meanwhile, Rogers dumps it off for Emmons. Rogers drops it off this time for Lewis, but he can't convert. Diarjan having a really rough shooting night.
Yes, indeed.
Northwood trying to take advantage and recapture the lead right here.
Northwood still enjoying about a 7 rebound advantage in the game.
That ball kicked out of bounds by Rogers. Northwood will keep it. Bob, remember the first time we were here and Northwood shot 3 after 3 after 3, didn't make them? Well, they've been much more disciplined about taking 3-point shots tonight.
They have, and I give credit to Vincent for taking an opportunity to get the threes. They like him to shoot the threes. I'm looking for a little bit more out of Trent Edwards, and I know he's getting a lot of attention defensively from Memorial.
Well, he'll take the foul line jumper here and hit. Aaron Wolf would like to know why he didn't say anything earlier. It's a 1-point lead. Evans, though, no, that's Demarion Anderson drawing the foul from Jason Borkholder, and that's the third on Borkholder.
Got to be careful. You don't have a lot of size on that bench.
So Demarion Anderson, a 70% free throw shooter. Only a freshman and averaging 9 points and 6 rebounds a game. Kyle Sears just elated with the production he's getting from this 6'3" freshman. Here's Stratford and Vincent coming back in for the Panthers.
Well, you knew Borkholder was going to be going out first chance he got. They'll keep him for the rest of the third quarter.
This young man Anderson with a really high ceiling for his basketball career. Puts the Chargers back up by 1. It's been a seesaw affair here in the Panther pit.
A player like Anderson may be a little hesitant as a freshman to try to take a big role on this team. He certainly has the talent to do so.
Edwards can't get that one to go. He was going too far to his left when he put the shot up. But look at the Panthers get back down. 5 white jerseys hustling back on defense that time. Anderson working hard, thwarted by Stratford. Jackson will try to get ahead of the pack. Lost the handle on the way up. Out of bounds to NorthWood. Good hands by Skinny Rogers. You'll get another look from down under on our SPO replay. Matt Kowalski working the camera down there.
The ball would have come to Matt. He could have shot it.
Less than a minute to go, third quarter. Second place in the NLC on the line in this one. Jackson inside scores. Jamar now with 8. NorthWood back on top.
Got 6 of those here in the third quarter. He and Malachi Emmons having themselves a battle.
Rogers for 3 in the corner. It won't go. Vincent starts the break. It's Jackson. Oh, he threw it right into the hands of Malachi Emmons. And now Miller takes it in strong and draws the foul.
Yoder Stutzman Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning has been serving Napanee and the surrounding area since 1969. They're committed to what they do, and they're here to serve you for all of your plumbing, heating, and cooling needs. Yoder Stutzman Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning, building lasting solutions.
James Peters and LaShawn Whitener check in for the Chargers to give D'Arjon Lewis and Malachi Emmons a chance to get a little longer quarter break here. Meanwhile, 2 big free throws by Miller, the 65% foul shooter, knocks them both down. Chargers by 1. NorthWood will try to get the final shot of the quarter. Flickinger had it kicked away by Skinny Rogers.
Skinny might have to change his name to Quick.
Be a heck of a soccer player. He's had about 3 kick balls tonight. Either that or a goalie for the Blackhawks. Vincent going in strong, draws the contact. He'll go to the line for 2 with 3.4 left.
Nice move by Vincent. Everybody expecting him to square up on the 3. He had a little bit of a gap, took it, got inside, drew the foul.
Call the foul on Whitener. Vincent, only a 46% free throw shooter on the year. The number 2 singles champion in the NLC for boys tennis this past fall. Helped lead the NorthWood tennis squad to their first sectional title in 12 seasons. Now Lewis and Emmons come back in for offensive purposes here for the final 3.4.
Vincent missed the first one. He shoots almost 50%. He'll make this one.
He is not a prophet. Miller from half court. Not quite. And the third quarter comes to an end. So the seesaw has been going back and forth. But Malachi Emmons had a big third quarter for the Chargers. And Memorial leads by a single point going to the fourth on 46. This edition of the TV 46 High School Basketball Game of the Week brought to you by Bill's Heating, keeping families and businesses comfortable since 1951. Bo Hunt awfully comfortable down there on the sidelines of the Panther Pit. He offers our Bill's Heating sideline report. Bo, your thoughts going into the fourth? What's going to make the difference in this game?
I think it's going to come down to who gets in foul trouble. We saw a little bit of that there in the third quarter. Brooks coming out. He was a monster inside with the blocks and really eliminated the inside game of NorthWood. So his foul trouble is really going to be one of the things that we look at here going down the stretch. And I think for Memorial offensively, I thought Malachi just did a great job getting to the hoops and really finishing things as well, guys.
Finishing has been a problem for both teams tonight. There have been some relatively close-range shots that have been missed. But the Chargers lead it by 1. Lewis was trying to post up. Instead, the ball came out to Emmons, and the hot hand continues for Malachi. His 9th game in double figures this season. He has 10.
Nice work by Emmons. NorthWood had only 3 players in the scoring column in the third quarter after 6 in the first half.
Stratford down low, won't get it to go, and then goes over the back on the rebound. Bo talked about it, the lack of productivity from the postmen for NorthWood tonight. Just 4 points from Borkholder, which I realize is his average, and 3 from Stratford. But you talked earlier, Edwards just has not been able to slash inside a lot tonight.
Big part of his game, and Memorial, having scouted him, wanted to take something away, and it looks like what they're trying to do.
Anderson to Rogers for 3. Not that time, and the rebound to Stratford. Flickinger lost the handle, and then the ball goes out of bounds. What's John Hirschberger's call here? They're going to call a foul on Flickinger for a push from behind. That's his second.
Eastlake 24 Napanee is a full-service fitness club with 24-hour access. They never close. Just $25 to enroll and $29 a month with unlimited access to all 18 Eastlake and Fit Stop locations. Check it out for yourself between Ace Hardware and Martin Supermarket, Eastlake 24 in Napanee.
Good shake and bake by Emmons, but he couldn't really find anybody open to shoot. Edwards has done a marvelous job in the second half covering up Braxton Miller. Miller's only 2 points have come at the foul line. Still, the Chargers with a 3-point lead. Lewis drives all the way to the hole. Got it to go that time. Yarjan just kind of lulled everybody to sleep and then got his 6th point of the night.
Good player with a lot of confidence.
Jackson working one-on-one against Miller. Threw it away. Yarjan with some slick handles there. Chargers trying to work it down low, pushing foul from behind on Borkholder. That's his 4th.
Well, that hole is getting a little bit deeper as time goes by for NorthWood, even though they won 13 games this year. They're hooked in one here with Memorial.
And look what happens. Borkholder picks up his 4th. Brandon Brooks comes into the game. Think they're going to try to go right at 21 here? We'll see. Anderson, the big freshman, blocked. Who's the foul on? If it's on Borkholder, that's it. Instead, it's on Jamar Jackson, and that's his 1st, and you'll get another look from SBO. I think that's the right call as Jackson got him with the body.
But again, you're going to have people step up. Borkholder is going to stay in the game, but boy, there is still 5:54 to go.
Now, you could have also called Anderson, who's at the foul line now, for a clear out. He kind of worked pretty well with the shoulder that time, but that wasn't the call. Anderson with 5 points tonight. As you look at Kyle Sears in his 6th season on the Charger bench, a lot of people wondering, will he be the new coach at the Consolidated Elkhart High School? Here's the foul called on Skinny Rogers. 2nd on him. Kyle's been in Elkhart a long time. First as a player, then as an assistant at Elkhart Christian, and then to Mark Barnheiser for 6 years.
And he went away to college all the way to Mishawaka.
Yeah, well, in Elkhart, that's like going across the Berlin Wall. Here's Rogers all the way, lays it in for two. Memorial with its biggest lead. Timeout called by Aaron Wolf in Northwood with 5:30 to go. Memorial has opened up an 8-point cushion thanks to their defense and the play of Skinny Rogers on 46. This edition of the 46th Game of the Week brought to you by Imagineering Finishing Technologies, the industry knowledge source for metal finishing solutions. They set the standard for industry, including automotive, medical, aerospace, and military defense. Like the teams in tonight's game, we're working for a great finish. Chuck Freeby, Bob Nagel, Bo Hunt back with you from the Panther Pit in Napanee. Elkhart Memorial has opened up a 43-35 lead on Northwood in this Northern Lakes Conference clash. Chargers trailed by 2 at the half, but points have been hard to come by for the Panthers in the second half.
Well, you know what you're getting from Edwards. You know what you got in the first half from Vincent. The guy that needs to probably step up a little bit more is Jamar Jackson. He's been effective, and he's done a good job tonight.
7-0 burst for Memorial here to start the fourth quarter. So who can step up for Northwood? Where can they get some offense? Let's see who the hero could be. It's Edwards with the ball outside, their leading scorer on the year, looking to create. Now Vincent double team that left Flickinger open. He goes into the land of the trees and finds Edwards. Finally, Borkholder lays it in.
Good patience there.
Meanwhile, the Chargers come right back down and put pressure on with Brooks laying it up for 2. The pass from Skinny Rogers to Brooks. Just 4 points for Brooks tonight, but that puts the lead back up to 8. Jackson threw it away. Chargers on the run. Rogers all the way. Got the bucket on the bump. And Kyle Sears is pumped up in front of the Charger bench.
Well, the turnovers for Northwood have just been absolutely devastating.
The high-end camera from the railing showing you that one. And here's Rogers, a 73% free throw shooter. We told you in the first game of the season, but in case you missed it, Titus Rogers is his given name. He's a twin. His uncle was a twin as well. And so how did they tell them apart? Well, one twin was called Skinny and the other's called Fat. Here's another steal by Memorial. Look at the ball handling by Lewis as he goes in, but he missed it. At the other end, another steal by Rogers. The length of Memorial just giving Northwood fits, and it's Lewis for 2.
Give a lot of credit to Lewis. He was struggling in most of the game, but kept his confidence, and now looking at maybe bumping into double figures.
Meanwhile, we've got a foul down at the other end called against Elkhart Memorial, but can't blame the Chargers for playing aggressive defense because it's been working for them. The foul on Rogers is his 3rd, but with 4 minutes to go in the game, not really a huge problem. Vincent fouled this time by Lewis, and that will send Northwood to the foul line.
Well, again, one of the things that was a real surprise in that first half was the lack of free throws. Officials letting them play a little bit, which is not a bad idea either.
It'll be Ben Vincent at the foul line. As we mentioned before, 46% free throw shooter. He has missed them both from the stripe tonight.
Wow. And a good shooter.
Meanwhile, Memorial with the rebound. Chargers balanced on offense again tonight. Rogers will back it on out. Emmons with a big second half for Memorial tonight. Miller, the big first half that kept him in the game. Brooks finds Anderson. The freshman plows in. No basket charging called on Demarion. Well, he played linebacker for the Uprising Stars flag football team, and he kind of lowers the shoulder right here into Cooper Weens.
Pretty good position by Weens. You know, Chuck, one of the things I'd like to see out of Brandon Brooks, again, he's been better in the second half. He's got 4 points. But every time he touches the ball in the low post, he's got to look to score. Because if he does look, he might have some opportunities, but he also might have a situation where he can draw a foul, and that's been one of the keys right now for Northwood is they've got some foul trouble.
I'm not so sure how much of Trent Edwards he got there, but apparently he got enough for Rondé's liking. So Edwards goes to the line, and he misses the foul shot as well. They say charity begins at home. The charity stripe at home for Northwood tonight has not been kind.
No, it has, and Aaron Wolf over checking the stat sheet. I think he's looking to see just how tough they've been from the free throw line. It's been a struggle.
Well, I can tell you, they're 4 out of 10. And that does not bode well as you get closer to tourney time. Make it 4 of 11.
4 out of 10, I could figure that percentage. 4 of 11, I'm struggling.
It's worse. And a timeout called by Elkhart Memorial with 3:07 to go. 50-37 Chargers on 46. This edition of the TV 46 High School Basketball Game of the Week brought to you in part by the Indiana High School Athletic Association, partnering with TV 46 for 30 years. What a busy weekend for the IHSAA. Girls swimming state finals in Indy, wrestling semi-states around the state, girls basketball regionals. Other than that, not a whole lot going on.
A lot of good boys regular season games going on. And including tomorrow afternoon, Northwood will be playing host to the St. Joe Indians.
And next week, we will be in South Bend, down on the south side at Algie Oldham Gymnasium, where Blake Wesley and the Riley Wildcats get a visit from the NIC leading Adams Eagles. Oh, that should be a fun one. Quintez, Columbus, Braden, Saxton, and company rolling into the south side. See it Friday night, 11, Saturday morning at 9 on TV 46.
Looking forward to that one. That'll be fun.
Here's De'Arjon Lewis handling the ball up top. Lewis threw it away, though. Northwood has to get a few of those stops and some conversions. Vincent will try to drive the baseline, but Miller poked it away from behind. Turnovers have been a problem for both teams tonight, as though on cue.
Yeah.
But a huge problem for Northwood, which has had 20 of them. Jackson makes it 21.
It's so frustrating.
Hey, we want to give a shout out to our buddy Mark Johnson because we know he's watching. Both of these teams have their next game against St. Joe. Northwood plays the Indians Saturday, Memorial Tuesday. So from Bob, Bo, and myself, thanks for watching, Mark.
Appreciate it very much. Saw a nice picture of Mark Johnson with George Griffith, the former head coach at LaSalle that Mark worked with. And George was the one on the left.
What are you trying to say? Held ball there, alternating possession gives it to Northwood.
Good to see Griff in the house. When St. Joe and Adams went at it, St. Joe down 18-2, came back, actually led at the end of the ball game, had a chance to win it. But give Adams credit, that's a really good basketball team.
Well, this will be a really good win for Elkhart Memorial. If they can finish it out here in the last 2:03. Edwards can't get that one to drop either. And the rebound of the Chargers, the foul called in the backcourt on Vincent. Take a look at some of the teams Memorial has beaten this year. Washington, LaVille, Warsaw, now this Northwood team. Don't sleep on the Chargers in that Elkhart sectional. They gave Northridge probably as good a game as the Raiders have had in this winning streak that they're having right now.
And I love what they've done here in the fourth quarter. They've got 5 people in the scoring column in the fourth quarter, only 1 basket. That was by Borkholder here in the fourth quarter for Northwood.
Well, I like this freshman Anderson, 6 points so far. He's had 8 games in double figures this year, including his last 3. Nearly a double-double in his prep debut. Got a good touch around the basket and doesn't really try to force all that much. 7 points for Demarion tonight. He is the bench scoring for Memorial tonight. And another turnover for Northwood.
Wow. Kyle Sears on the rebound. Kyle went running across the floor here, got the loose ball.
Well, that goes back to his playing for Mike Lightfoot days.
Right.
That's an innate feeling of if you see a ball on the floor, you're going to dive for it.
Boy, some of the other games tonight, waiting to see what happens with Westview and Prairie Heights. What a ball game there.
First place in the Northeast Corner Conference on the line in that one. Miller brings the ball across the floor for the Chargers, who are moments away from picking up their 11th win of the season. Down the lane, and the foul called on Borkholder, and that will end Jason's night. And it'll send Malachi Emmons to the line for Elkhart Memorial.
One of the ladies in the house that's going to be retiring soon from Elkhart Memorial.
Phyllis Tubbs.
Phyllis Tubbs, going to miss her. She's done a great job. What a gift she's been to, especially to girls athletics. And then over at Westview, we've got
Darlene Matthews.
Darlene Matthew is going to be retiring as well. And just really appreciate all the great times we've had working with those 2 ladies. And we always are so grateful to the athletic directors and the staff that make us feel so welcome like we are here tonight at Northwood.
Here's a 3 on the way and drained by Cade Brenner, the 6-foot freshman. Just his second 3-pointer of the year. Gets Northwood back within 13. He plays primarily on the JV. And the timeout called by Kyle Sears with 1:17 to go. We'll keep it right here.
Nice looking bucket from Brenner, 6-foot freshman. Did a good job in the JV game tonight.
Well, a reminder, we've got college basketball on the radio this weekend. We'll start you off on Saturday at noon with Purdue at Ohio State. Boy, the Boilermakers did not look good against Penn State the other night. Let's see if they can bounce back on the road. We might as well show you the rest of the weekend schedule, too. Sunday at 1, it's Indiana and Michigan on 103.1 FM. And then all 3 of our frequencies have Notre Dame women's basketball at 3. The Irish have to go to the Ville to take on the 9th-ranked Cardinals. You'll hear all those games on Pulse FM.
Somebody said, well, Louisville's lost 2 in a row. I said, well, unless some of their talent has left the program, they're still a very good team. And everybody looking to solidify their standing with that double bye you can get in the ACC tournament.
Braxton Miller to inbound for the Chargers. Just 76 seconds away from icing this one. And Memorial will be content to just move the ball around the perimeter here.
It's a big win in a tough house.
Not too many times you come down here and win. A nice layup there for Anderson, who has 9 now. Really good balance for Memorial again tonight. Braxton Miller with 16, Malachi Emmons with 11, and Anderson with 9, Lewis with 8, and Rogers with 7.
St. Andrews Products has joined our team with the finest in promotional products, advertising specialties, business gifts, and apparel. Give them a call at 628-9922 or email them at sales@standrewscorp.com. Your expectations become our standards, and our answer is always yes. And to you, we say, what's the question?
Well, let's pop it around real quick, Bo. I don't know if you've got your mic on or not, but you want to wage a vote here for the player of the game?
I thought Malachi Emmons had a great second half, but I think Braxton Miller's first half and what he did in the second half was he brought Trent Edwards away from the hoop, and him having to play him really opened up that lane in the second half. So I really like what Braxton Miller brings.
Well, you're the man down there, so we'll make Braxton Miller our player of the game, and we'll hear from him in a moment on the R. Yoder Construction postgame show. Memorial goes to 11-8 with a 55-40 win over Northwood. Our postgame festivities come your way next on 46.
Turn the ball over 25 times. I don't care if you're playing the same Bavo, you're not going to win.
And just talk about the process before you guys get to sections. All right, whenever you guys are ready, I got Braxton here.
And claim your prize from Hahn.
Standing by with our player of the game, Braxton Miller. Game high 16 points tonight. First off, congratulations on this victory.
Thank you.
You guys come into this game. You had a tough defeat against Marion. What was the difference, and what did you guys learn from that game coming forward?
I just think that coming forward, well, we didn't have one of our starters, and so we didn't really have much legs underneath us. But after losing by that much, we kind of formed together.
You guys come in, and Northwood were really pushing the pace in that first half and really just subbing in guys. You guys never really phased, and you guys just kept going at it.
Yeah, I mean, in practice, we just go up and down a lot. We do it every game, so our legs are kind of used to it.
The conference was already decided, and you know that coming into this game. You guys get second place, but I know that doesn't mean a whole lot to you guys. Moving forward to sectional, what are the things you guys need to work on?
I think we just need to keep coming together as a team, keep moving the ball, and making the extra pass. I think we'll be fine.
Hey, good luck and congratulations.
Thank you.
Back to you guys.
Thanks for watching the WHME TV 46 High School Game of the Week, brought to you by
Time now for the R. Yoder Construction postgame show on our 46th Game of the Week. Fans starting to file out of the Panther Pit after a 55-40 Elkhart Memorial win over NorthWood tonight. Chuck Freeby and Bob Nagel high above the fray. The speed and quickness of the Memorial Crimson Chargers really showed up here tonight.
It did. You know, they're down 2 at halftime, and they made some adjustments. They went inside to the big man, got a couple of buckets out of him. The guys who struggled in the first half stayed with it and came through in the fourth quarter. But NorthWood, 23 turnovers, crucial in this game.
But a lot of those turnovers caused by Memorial. And the guy that kept the Chargers in it in the first half, then Bo Hunt made a really good point. Braxton Miller pulling the best defender for NorthWood away from the basket. That meant the Charger inside game opened up. It's one of the reasons we made Braxton Miller with 16 points our IUSB fulfilling the promise player of the game.
Standing by with our player of the game, Braxton Miller, game high 16 points tonight. First off, congratulations on this victory.
Thank you.
You guys come into this game, you had a tough defeat against Marion. What was the difference and what did you guys learn from that game coming forward?
I just think that coming forward, well, we didn't have one of our starters, and so we didn't really have like much like legs underneath us. But after losing by that much, we kind of like formed together.
You guys come in, and NorthWood were really pushing the pace in that first half and really just subbing in guys. You guys never really phased. You guys just kept going at it.
Yeah, I mean, in practice, we just go up and down a lot. We do it every game, so our legs are kind of used to it.
The conference was already decided, you know, that coming into this game. You guys get second place, but I know that doesn't mean a whole lot to you guys. Moving forward to sectional, what are the things you guys need to work on?
I think we just need to keep like coming together as a team, keep moving the ball, and making the extra pass. I think we'll be fine.
Hey, good luck and congratulations.
Thank you.
Back to you guys.
So many times in the second half, Bob, Elkhart Memorial was able to use defense to create offense, and that also happened in our electrical workers play of the game here from Local 153 with Skinny Rogers doing the damage.
Well, Skinny, again, was struggling in the first half, but gets down the floor, gets a transition basket. That's something that NorthWood did really well in the first half, getting transition baskets, but Memorial picked it up in the second half. I thought their legs were maybe a little bit better, and then a little bit of foul trouble for NorthWood. When they looked up, they went from being down 5 to being down 10, and all of a sudden the game gets away from you. 2-point game at halftime winds up being a big win for Memorial.
Panthers have no time to feel sorry for themselves. St. Joe comes to town on Saturday afternoon. Memorial will face that same St. Joe team on Tuesday night. And just as coaches' wives have to make sacrifices, so too do broadcasters' wives and mothers. So happy Valentine's Day to Diane Freeby, Jean Freeby, Mary Carol Nagel, and Pam Hunt. We thank you for all you've done to make us better guys as well. Our crew also with lots of moms and wives that give up their time, including Dean Korsmo, Paula Korsmo at home celebrating the fact that she's not with him tonight. But that's another story. The rest of our 46 crew also putting in some great time tonight. Reminder that we've got college basketball on the radio all weekend long. Purdue and Ohio State Saturday at noon. IU and Michigan Sunday at 1. The Notre Dame women against Louisville Sunday at 3. And then next Friday night, more high school basketball. The Adams Eagles and the Riley Wildcats in the big NIC clash on the south side. You'll see it live on YouTube and Facebook at 7:45 and on TV 46 Friday night at 11. Now, for my broadcast partners, the fellow Hall of Famers, Bob Nagel and Bo Hunt, it's Chuck Freeby. Once again, the final, Elkhart Memorial 55, NorthWood 40. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody, from Napa News.